My 35M, wife, 37F, gave our life savings to scammers. I found out about this on Thanksgiving Day. The story is that my wife and I are married since 2020. She's due to give birth on Monday, scheduled induction. On Thanksgiving Day, 1 week ago, she told me that this happened. The total amount was about $550, $600,000. She's from China. She made 3 individual transfers to Hong Kong. Why? She said the FTC called her on the phone and said their partners in China caught her in a money laundering scheme. They told her to call a number, and she did, an oldest trick in the book, right? She said she suspected it was a scam, but did it anyway. She went to the bank to sign paperwork. She said she lied to the bank to get the money to go through. At some point, I was on an account at this bank with her. I trusted her, so I wasn't really keeping watch. This happened months ago. The most recent transfer was 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. She's made police reports, FBI reports, FTC reports. I have them. She's going to start seeing a therapist. I just don't know if I can get past this. I don't know how to look at her. I run my own business. I've been working 7 days a week for 3 years to get it off the ground. My career makes much less money in major cities, but hers makes more. Her argument for living here was that she was making and growing this nest egg. I feel like I've sacrificed everything, and I've been stabbed in the back by the person I trusted the most. I tried contacting a family law attorney, but they were kind of cruel, to be honest. My world is upside down. Do I try to make it work? All right, I'm gonna just say it. She said she suspected it was a scam, but is it possible she might have been in on it? Somebody from China pressured her to send money to China, and she is not being honest with you about who pressured her or why she agreed. The FTC called her on the phone and said their partners in China caught her in a money laundering scheme. My first thought after reading that was, well, she was scared enough by this accusation to fold and send the money. Does that mean that she is laundering money? She suspected it was a scam, but did it anyway without running it by you. That doesn't make sense. Have you seen the police reports? The FBI reports? Have you gone with her to talk to them? This isn't passing the smell test. Quietly start looking around. Is it possible sent it to family in China instead? I just can't believe that she would have thought it was a scam, but still did it anyway. Regardless, she needs to have zero ability to access any money for a long while. Give her an account you can put money into, but until you get to the bottom of this, she can't be trusted. And get a post-nuptial now to protect your assets. Even if you stay married, you need to put in protections given this absolutely devastating fuck-up. This sounds so fake and unbelievable. Is it normal for me, 24 male, to not idolize my 26 female girlfriend? Too long did not read. I don't feel the same overwhelming admiration for my current girlfriend that I once felt for my ex, and I'm not sure if that's normal. About a year and a half ago, I, 24M, ended a 7-year relationship. We were together for most of my teenage and early adult life. We grew a lot, and eventually, we just grew apart. Now I'm in a new relationship with an amazing woman, 26F. We have more in common than I ever had with my ex. She treats me incredibly well, and we hardly ever fight. But I feel like something is missing. In my other relationship, I worshipped her, basically. I felt like I was her biggest fan, even with all the flaws in our relationship. She made me dizzy. I was bedazzled with her presence. I knew she wasn't the best person in the world, and I knew she had a lot of flaws, but I still felt like she was the best person in the world, someone to always look up to. With my current girlfriend, those intense feelings aren't there. I see her as a wonderful partner, and I really enjoy our time together. It's the best part of my day. But she feels like a regular person. Special to me, of course, but not extraordinary in that same way. I know it's normal to become a little more apathetic as you get older and have more experiences. Maybe the reason things felt so magical before is because I was young and impressionable and everything was new. But I really thought that once I found a good, healthy relationship again, the adoration feeling would come back. I'm not disappointed or sad about our relationship, but it makes me feel like I'm doing something wrong. Anyway, is this just how love feels as you get older, or is something wrong with me? It's not normal to idolize a human. Has your self-esteem improved? Maybe you're just not putting other people on pedestals anymore because you feel better about your own self. It's in the nature of 15-year-olds to be emotionally immature and physically unable to properly process the dopamine of first relationship shoots into their brains. So you're never going to feel that again with anyone. But it's not being apathetic, to not be so head over heels that you can't think clearly. Adult relationships are less about butterflies and more of an audition to find someone you might someday be able to trust with your finances and medical decisions. The mate you need as a grown-up has to have different traits than you may have idolized as a child. That you're not dizzy probably just means you're ready to embrace the mutual respect and admiration people your age are supposed to employ when deciding on a lifelong partner. This is a hard one. On one hand, a young teenage relationship usually starts off with overly impossible expectations and feelings. Most stable and mature relationships don't have the giddy all the time feeling. But on the other hand, you should still be elated to be with your partner. Worshipping is strong, but being neutral or only somewhat positive is still problematic. I love my partner. I feel incredibly lucky with him. Sometimes he walks out of a room, and I still get stunned at how lovely he is. And I get those little happy feelings about him being my best friend. You should probably feel something similar without worshipping them. God, whatever you do, do not show or let your girlfriend find out about this post. It might be a sign that you're in a stable, healthy adult relationship. I, 21 female, need advice on turning him, 22 male, down after our second date. I, 21 female, and this guy, 22 male, have actually been mutuals on Insta for a whole year prior, but we only met in person just recently. Our first date was at an arcade because I wanted to do something fun other than a boring interview-style dinner. Although we ended up making out in his car after the arcade, I left the date feeling as if there was no chemistry whatsoever. He's really attractive, hot and a great kisser, but he's just kind of boring, barely asks questions, isn't curious, and doesn't have conversational skills to make things interesting. I thought the fun adrenaline of the arcade would make it easier for us to bond, but we just didn't. He also just dove in for the kiss without there being any yearning or major flirting from both sides. But he's so fine, great at kissing, and I really enjoyed the makeout, so I decided to give it another try on the second date, where we played tennis since we both competed in it whilst growing up. The game was fun, but there was just no playful banter. I know he's an introvert, but it gets just empty with him. He doesn't excite me like my ex did. Also, me and my ex broke up 3 years ago. I'm completely over that. I just couldn't help but compare the chemistry and compatibility. And yeah, we did end up making out in his car after playing tennis too long. But now that the second date is over, I don't really know how to proceed with this. I don't see a relationship with him at all. He's just a great kisser. But the thing is, we never really called these meetups a date, and we've never talked about being in a relationship with one another. However, he has paid for all our activities and talked about future activities to do together, and has also held my hand in public. So how am I supposed to even address this without knowing what this even is? So what advice can you guys give me in this situation? Please don't hate on me. I genuinely just haven't had much experience in these scenarios, and am just looking for advice. Thank you guys. I'd keep it simple. Hey, I enjoyed our dates and meeting you, but I just don't really feel a connection here. Good luck going forward. That's it. Keep in mind that you don't need any reason to end things with someone. But this is the truth anyway. You're incompatible. Hopefully he reacts maturely. If not, just cut contact. Good luck. You can stop seeing someone for any reason or no reason at all, so just keep it simple. I've really enjoyed our dates, but I'm just not feeling it. Barely asks questions, isn't curious, and doesn't have conversational skills to make things interesting. A lot of people are saying to let him open up. Here is the thing that is not your job. Unless you're looking for casual hookups, he should be able to engage with another human being and ask questions. If he wanted to, he would. What others said, I'm just not feeling it, next time he asks you out, and just leave it at that. If he gets weird or toxic or nasty afterward you've been on 2 dates, it would be perfectly reasonable to block and or ghost this guy. You barely know each other and don't owe him anything. Same goes for him if he's the one who wasn't feeling it. You've had 2 pretty good dates and a great makeout session with a hot guy that's a good kisser. Neither of those dates were conducive to conversation. In fact, you actively avoided the date that's easiest conversation, dinner. So you're A, dealing with a person more introverted than you, and B, in situations where even skilled communicators would find challenging. Here's what I think. 1. Give him a chance to come out of his shell on a 3rd date that very well could be as fun as the first 2. 2. Tell him about your reservations, in a polite way. Honestly annoys me. I have a lot of banter, and can flirt and joke a lot, But for some reason I am always very careful if I don't really know you yet on first date, or second if first date didn't break the ice. So it could be the same with him if you say he's an introvert. I, 23F, had a one-night stand with 23M. He flew 4,000 miles to see me, now I don't know. I, 23F, had a one-night stand in October with a guy I faintly knew from my hometown. Side note, this is the first time I had ever had a one-night stand. I am not someone who does casual. I live in the UK, he lives in America. It was a good night, but then he asked if he would be able to visit me. I didn't think he was actually being serious until he sent me his flight confirmation, and that he would be here on Thanksgiving Day. He stayed for 5 days, and we had an amazing time. The sex is so amazing, and we are so similar in so many ways. I really feel like I might like him. We planned to see each other for 3 days when I am back for the holidays, then planned a trip for the second week of January in Europe together because we love to travel. I don't know if this could be something serious, since it's long distance, but why would he be putting in the effort? I want to know from an outside perspective what this looks like. Thanks, XX. Don't worry too much about where this may be going. Just enjoy the time you have together, and when it's serious you'll know. For now, just enjoy being with someone you like a lot. Men don't fly 4,000 miles across an ocean just for a hookup. It would be cheaper and easier for him to stay in America. He likes you a lot. Unless I'm swimming in money, I wouldn't travel thousands of miles and spending however much money to see a casual fling. Doesn't really sound like a one-night stand to me. It sounds like the start of a beautiful friendship with fun and sex involved. I met my wife via one-night stand. I was visiting her city for one night, met her at a celebration via a mutual friend, had an amazing time, and I went home the next day. I asked if I could visit her, went the next month, we had an incredible few days, and decided to try long distance. 8 months later, I was able to move to where she lived. We moved in together, and have been together for 16 years, married for 12. We've traveled the world, and now are settled with 2 perfect boys. I say, you never know how it might turn out, so why not give it a shot? Life's too short to have regrets. He crossed an entire ocean to see you, and you're still unsure of his intentions? Bless your heart, faced with tears of joy.